Talking about the DRA is talking about a department built by diversity and driving by respect. Therefore, let's start our talk by introducing the professionals belonging to DRA Brazil. DRA Head becomes a PEC member and has the mission to bring the most relevant information to the board so that the company can build better business strategies, besides conducting better external interaction with public regulatory institutions. DRA team was designed and restructured aiming to attend to business demands through two teams that support their franchises. In line with new franchise structure, two management positions were created, one for primary care and the other for specialty, with more strategy focus. We have also created one compliance position in the DRA, which is responsible for the regulatory compliance and ensuring business continuity. This was made because of the increasing demand for information accuracy, maintenance of each product, and the complexity of pharmaceutical business. These changes have promoted better contact with the areas to those DRA is giving bigger support, for example, marketing, supply chain, global and regional teams. Furthermore, it has provided a new direction for the company's regulatory requirements, as well as the planning of regulatory activities for the coming years, which will meet the new Brazilian scene. DRA also needs to always focus on the world stage. Brazil has been undergoing constant economic, social and political changes. Taking that into consideration, we can find the following picture. In 2010, 9% of the gross domestic product, GDP, has been invested in public health area. Population has universal access to basic health services. Pharmaceutical market size is $21.8 billion, first place in Latin America, 6th in the world, in the months up to October 2012. Market growth potential is high, 20% in 2010, 19% in 2011, 18% in the last 12 months up to October 2012. The Unified Health System, SUS, must accommodate the growing demand of the population, especially for new high-priced drug therapies. Government encourages the use of generic medicines. There may be price control intensification, mainly if overcharged to public sector. Government can make use of compulsory license to ensure that key drugs become available at relatively low prices. CMED, that regulates the Brazilian market, is under operational responsibility of Anvisa, and it is a multidisciplinary area whose members are the Ministry of Health, Finances, Justice, Industry and Commerce, and has the following responsibilities: establish rules and procedures for pharmaceutical market economic regulation, establish the criteria to drugs price determination and adjustments, define criteria to determine new drugs prices and the new product presentations, reimbursement rules for drug classes and categories, establish criteria to determine drug profit margin. A new government plan is also created to improve and leverage public pharmaceutical laboratories, structuring an intense policy, Product Development Partnership called PDP. In order to better understand this scenario, it is important to give a good look in the evolution of the Brazilian regulatory system since 1999 till today. Brazil has created Law No. 9787 in 1999, established the legal guidelines for the companies to produce, register and commercialize generic medicines in the country, making Brazil a pioneer in this sense. In addition to generic products, branded generic medicines are produced in Brazil. They have the same active ingredients, concentration, dose, and administration route to reference medicines. Resolution RDC number 134 from 2003 contains provisions so that similars can be registered and remain for sale in the markets. Defines the technical parameters for medicine stability studies for the registration in Brazil, not being in line with the ICH. This norm already has 10 years, and it is a key factor for the registration success of a medicine to be approved in the country. Arises regulation on post-approval changes. This norm is also essential for the maintenance of what is already registered, and for any change or improvement in the product should be guided by this regulation. In 2010, Brazil released several new provisions designed to regulate specifically diverse types of biological products. This resolution also contains provisions for the registration of new biological products and biosimilars. In this class of products are included vaccines, antibiotics, human plasma derivatives, blood products, MABs, live wheat, and dead biological products obtained with biotechnology and others from animal fluids or tissues. This resolution defines the requirements for the conduction of drug stability studies needed for new biological products registration and for changes made in already registered biological products. Active pharmaceutical ingredients. Resolution RDC 45 from 2012 contains new guidelines for stability studies needed for active pharmaceutical ingredients. Summing up, in the last 14 years, the country has undergone profound changes, and the pharmaceutical market has been following government actions and Anvisa with its regulations. What about the registration in Brazil? How does it work? Below are the steps for the product registration in Brazil. After the receipt of a product dossier, it begins the translation of all documents. In this point, DRA team also works in the documents customization, GMP, transport validation, co-validation, but in all of them in the sequence and format required by Anvisa, without changing any technical scientific contents. It's important to say that there is no possibility of pre-submission meetings for new projects. Besides, all documents must be in Portuguese. After submission, each process goes to a queue of analysis. This queue contains the dossier of all companies and goes in decreasing order until it reaches position 1, when technical evaluation begins. This stage can last from 6 to 12 months, depending on the type of product. Small or large molecules, post-approval changes. There are several queues in this process. New chemical entities, post-registration, biological, post-registration for biological, etc. When the dossier finally enters analysis, the reviewer in charge can make new requests for additional documents and clarification, deficiency letters. This stage can last from 6 to 12 months. In general, the time between dossier submission until its approval varies between 18 to 24 months. For new products nowadays, the submission process must be done electronically. After the registration approval, pricing team begins price approval process that lasts approximately 3 months. Meanwhile, supply chain team organizes the launch of the product in the market, so that it happens as soon as we have pricing approval. DRA team makes weekly follow-up on the movement of the processes in Anvisa, as well as the registration and rejection publications made every week, highlighting Novartis' direct and indirect competitor publications. On a weekly basis, we send this communication to Novartis population that will make best strategic use of that information. For all those reasons, Novartis DRA must be always attentive, and we are, for new business and needs. We can mention here some opportunities as a means to guarantee the access to our products to the population. Create opportunities of technical discussion with Anvisa, forums of clinical oncology studies, for example. Reinforce DRA compliance area. Become a model in AMAC Latam by implementing better business practices. DRA Brazil increasingly participating in BrainMax initiative strategy, Lucentis, Gilenia, Leponex and Exelon. Technology transference projects with public labs, Myforic, Certican, Affinitor. Novartis DRA has begun its way to attend to the big demand from our market, as well as become an external reference. We are together with all Novartis team ready to fulfill our role efficiently, so that In the end, patients can benefit from products that make a difference in their lives. Thank you very much.